making its first trip to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the USF Pro Championships, and particularly the USF Juniors drivers treated to some very interesting Canadian weather. Cold and wet on Thursday. Friday for qualifying, beautiful sunny skies, and looking forward to even better here throughout the weekend. Hello, race fans. My name's Rob Howden. Great to be here at a track formerly known as Mosport Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, an iconic racetrack in Canadian motorsports, no doubt about that. And today, it'll be where USF Juniors finally get to go wheel to wheel. Standing by with the pole sitter, Carol Pashevich from Olivia Racing. Carol, let's talk about the track itself, this Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It is a challenge. You sat out for the first two wet sessions and then went P1 in the final test session. How was qualifying for you yesterday?
Qualifying was very good. You know, we did pole position. Overall, I feel very great for the races. I'm really prepared. We have been preparing the car with the team for a very long time now, and we have finally delivered the result that we wanted. The track is really tricky. It's really quick, bumpy. There's not so many places to overtake here, so the key, you know, to being in the front was to make a pole or at least P2. Yeah, and I feel very great for the races, you know.
I think starting on pole here at this track for the first time we've been here is crucial for you as well. Strong start to the season. 3 second-place finishes at Homestead. A little rougher run at Carolina Motorsports Park. How much does it mean to you to be able to maybe bounce back here and get back into the championship fight?
I mean, you know, we were always there in top 5 fighting for the win, but unfortunately in Carolina, luck wasn't on our side. That's why we dropped back in the championship standings. Yeah, we're always fast, you know. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, and let's see how it goes here.
Single car effort, that's one of the things as well. Some of these other teams are going against a number of different drivers. They're seeing more data, they're overlaying all their video. You're by yourself. It doesn't seem like it's hurt you that much, but can you talk about the crew and all the work you've done to be able to get faster?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's advantage when you have more cars, you know. For example, let's say Zanella cars, they have over 6 cars on the grid, so they have good data and everything, and yeah, we have to struggle alone, you know. I mean, we're looking at the onboards from previous races, you know. We're analyzing how drivers make the corners, so I think that's the key, you know.
Last question, 2 races today. You're going to lead them into turn number 1. What are your thoughts on, do you have a strategy? Do you know like what's going to happen in turn 1, 2, and of course turn number 3 is very tough?
Yeah, of course the strategy is to win, you know, just to pull away and try to win some races. We did pole for 3 races now. We have to wait if somebody is going to make faster time or no. Yeah, looking forward, you know.
Speed is not the question for Carol Pashevich and Olivia Racing. They have had it from the very start of the season as well. It's getting through turns 1, the treacherous turn 2 here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, then 3, down into 4, 5, 6, and then of course onto the back straightaway, the Mario Andretti straightaway. One of the awesome things about this particular weekend, USF Juniors making the trek north of the border for the first time. USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, the Canadian drivers get to run at first Toronto and of course this year at Markham. But for these junior drivers, 4 Canadians, very special weekend running here on home turf. We had a chance to talk to 3 of them earlier this weekend. For many years, Canadian drivers in the USF Pro Championships have been able to have a home race. Toronto for many years, and of course now this year up to the city of Markham. For USF Juniors, they've not had a chance to run in their home country. The Canadians here this weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park are able to do just that. Leonardo Saravalli from Zanella Racing joining me now. Leonardo, let's just talk. You finally get a chance to race in the home country in USF Juniors. What are your thoughts on that?
It means a lot to me to represent Canada. I mean, all my family's coming down to watch me, so I'm really looking forward to this weekend and representing my home country.
A little bit of pressure because people are here. You know, we race down south. You don't have people there. How are you feeling with the pressure?
A little bit of pressure, but I think it's good pressure. It's definitely good pressure. You know, I'm in my home country, so I'm comfortable. And I've been at this track before, once before, so I'm looking forward to it.
Let's talk about that. You had a chance to do some testing. What car did you drive here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park to be ready for this weekend?
Yeah, I actually had the chance to drive a Radical for 2 days last week, and it was a good test to experience the track and really learn the high-speed corners.
A number of Canadians in USF Juniors, and a lot of them coming before USF Juniors were karters here. You've raced out here at the Mosport track. Tell me about the experience of racing there and then jumping over here.
So I actually won the Canadian Karting Championship last year at the karting track, and I'm looking to repeat the same over here. So I'm looking forward to it, and my goal is to win this weekend and represent my country at the front.
Not only is this weekend for Canadians all about making the move here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so many of them we've talked about already come from the karting track at Mosport over to the big track here at CTMP. Cole Madero standing by from Exclusive Autosport. You won races over there. Now you want to win races here. Let's just start by asking what it means to you to be able to race here in Canada.
Yeah, it means a lot racing at home. You get to drive home for every race, and yeah, it just feels really special. Home crowd and everything. Try to get the job done.
How many fans are we going to have, friends and family, coming in from Ayr, Ontario to be part of this for you this weekend?
I think there's a bit of friends and family coming around. I think tomorrow and Sunday.
Having the success that you had over at the car track coming here, does that give you any kind of connection to this the bigger track here as opposed to being at the little track?
Yeah, kind of.
So one more thing. If you were to win here this weekend, this is what we're asking all the Canadian drivers, what would it mean to win this weekend?
It's probably the most special race of the year for me. It mean a lot.
Olivier Marac from Zanella Racing lives just 3 hours east of Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Ottawa. He's raced here before, but not this track, on the go-kart track for many years. Olivier, again, we talked about this before. You karters started there, now you're here. How excited are you to be able to race USF Juniors here this weekend?
I'm pretty excited. I've been brought here with my dad to watch our race team drive here, so I'm very excited. See if I can carry on the history that we have here, and we'll see if we can win this weekend.
Were you able to do any testing coming into the weekend here at the track, or was yesterday's wet session the first time you got a chance to circulate?
Yeah, yesterday was the first time. It was pretty scary going through turn 2 in the rain, but yeah, it was fun. First time, so we're looking pretty fast. We'll see what we can bring into the weekend. With
your dad's race team, were you able to sit in on any debrief sessions? Like, have you been able to go over the data on some of the drivers who have been here before?
No, I was too young. It was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Let's cap off with this. What would it mean for you to win here at home? You've had great races. You've already won in the series. What would it mean to win here, though, at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park?
It would feel great. It's such an amazing track. It would feel great to win here on my home country.
I'll tell you, folks, this racetrack here, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the event, the Victoria Day Speed Fest, is going to have a ton of fans here. If they put a Canadian driver on top of the box at USF Juniors, they're going to go mad. It's going to be a fantastic weekend here for all the Canadian drivers here at CTMP. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the first of 3 races here for USF Juniors as they make their first foray north of the border into Canada. Say hello to all of those of you who are tuned in on the YouTube channel. We know we have a number of people watching from around the country and around the world. 4 Canadian drivers racing here this weekend, but a massive field in terms of different nationalities. 9 different countries represented here this weekend with USA, Canada, Finland, Netherlands, Mexico, England, Denmark, Spain, and your pole sitter from Poland. Most drivers between 14 and 16 years of age, but great to be part of this Victoria Day Speed Fest at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the iconic racetrack here just north of Toronto. And again, you can see the wind blowing there. It's a very windy day. Blue skies when we got to the racetrack. For the most part, still blue, but the clouds starting to work their way in. About 54 degrees Fahrenheit trackside here. So a cooler day, but not as cool as it was during testing on Thursday. So expect even more warmer weather tomorrow. Potential for some, we'll see this afternoon, could be some of the dreaded precipitation. I don't think so. I think we're going to be okay. But the bottom line is right now we are set to go with the drivers ready to roll off here today for the first of 3 races in USF Juniors. As I said, the first step in the ladder system towards the NTT IndyCar Series. USF Juniors feeding into USF 2000 and then USF Pro 2000. 21 drivers set to go. Let's have a look at the field as they are currently on pit lane, ready to fire off for this main event here today of 2. We'll have another one this afternoon. Starting at the tail of the field, actually second place in points for Max Mokaram in the number 46, the driver to Fairfax, Virginia. A couple of wins on the season already, but an issue at the very start of qualifying, lap number 3, got into the wall in turn number 3, ended his session there. He'll start at the very tail of the field in that yellow and black Zanella machine. Keep an eye out for that district construction car for Max Mokaram because he is going to be coming through the field in the 46. Row number 10, starting 20th on the outside in the number 9. That is J.W. Main from Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Mainline Farms Java House Splendid machine for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by Ed Carpenter Racing. He'll start in the 20th position alongside his teammate Arian Narola for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 7 machine. Narola coming out of Fairfax, Virginia as well. Moving up another row to row number 9 on the outside. The number 68, the Canadian driver Alex Berg, living down in Georgia now. But Alex has made his move up here into the USF Juniors program. They also have an F4 program where his father Alan is this weekend at Road America. Single car effort for Alex Berg. He's got a couple of good runs on the season so far. Did not get the qualifying session he wanted, but I expect Alan Berg to move in that number 68. Alongside him, in the number 21, Jared Ozelka from Long Beach, Indiana, in the Ozelka Marina Carefree Boat Club machine for Zanella Racing. Again, Jared Ozelka in the number 21. Starting 17th, 16th place in points right now. Among the many rookies in the series, only 3 returning drivers from last year, 18 rookies on the grid. We'll roll up now to row number 8 on the outside in the number 28 machine. That's Grant Mitchell. Mitchell from Lake Forest, Illinois, another one of the many Zanella Racing drivers. 6 Zanella Racing cars on the grid here this weekend. Mitchell's going to start 16th alongside Connor Aspley in the exclusive Autosport number 91. The St. Louis Race Gear exclusive machine. Connor Aspley at O'Fallon, Missouri. His second year in the series. Also did the USF 2000 race at St. Petersburg this year. Look for Connor Aspley to be up on the wheel here. Didn't feel well on Thursday. His first session on the racetrack was actually qualifying, and he went P15. So we're expecting more at Aspley here today. Moving now up into row number 7 on the outside, driver we've been waiting for here. Very interesting when we got the news in the off season. This is Dean Hugendorn. Turned 14 years of age, the minimum limit for the series. He turned 14 on Tuesday. He is a European karting champion, second in the World Championships last year. His karting resume is absolutely stellar. He's a Williams F1 Driver Academy pilot and a guy that we are going to be watching here this weekend. Dean Hugendorn, his debut weekend here in an open-wheel Formula car after a stellar karting career. He'll roll off from the outside of row number 7, the Dutchman in the number 12. Alongside him from Mexico, Elias Vignola for D-Force Racing in the number 19. He'll start in the 13th position. Row number 6, another one of the Canadians in the field out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Edward Kennedy for VRD Racing. He just turned 14 on May the 8th. So these two drivers have been waiting for the start of the season. Couldn't compete in the first 2 races because they weren't 14 yet. So this is their debut. Edward Kennedy, who has won races at the karting track as of all the Canadians in the field, have all won races and championships over at the Mosport Karting Center. So great to have them on the big track here this weekend. Kennedy, the rookie, in the number 30, will start in the 12th position. Alongside him, a driver has been on the podium in USF Juniors competition before, Brendan Cooley from Illinois for exclusive Autosport in the number 92. Cooley currently 11th place in points, waiting for the breakout weekend. We'll see how things go here in race number 1 as the drivers are exiting now turn number 1 and down to turn number 2. Let's work our way through the field into the top 10. Point leader from Spain, Ivan Machado Perez. A number of wins on the season so far. The VRD Racing driver starting 10th alongside the Englishman, Max Cuthbert, in the number 8 for Jay Howard Driver Development. Row number 4 from Finland, it is Vito Atala for D-Force Racing, currently 3rd place in the points in the number 14, and Kasper Nissen, the Danish driver for Jay Howard, in the number 6, starting at 7th. We'll go to row 3 now, another one of the Canadians, Leonardo Saravalli from Thorold, Ontario for Zanella Racing, in that number 87 machine, the Revel Realty entry, and it'll be Saravalli on the outside alongside Bex Cranston from Greenwich, Connecticut, in the exclusive Autosport number 90. He's had some good runs as well this year. Cranston 10th place in the points coming into the weekend. Row number 2, all Canada. It is Ottawa, Ontario's Olivier Marac, podium earlier this year, the number 23 Zanella Racing driver starting in the 4th. Alongside him from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, that is Cole Medeiros, a winner at the last event at Carolina Motorsports Park. The exclusive Autosport driver in the 97 will be in P3. 21 drivers, 2 on the front row as they work their way up the back straightaway on the outside of the front row in the number 88 from Boca Raton, Florida. That is Victor Couto in the Bazillionaires, Zanella Racing number 88. And on the pole from Poland, Karol Pasiewicz for Olivia Racing, the single car effort this year. Pasiewicz in the number 25. He finished 2nd in the first 3 races of the year, Homestead Miami Speedway. Had a rougher run of it at Carolina Motorsports Park, finishing outside the top 10 in all 3 races. He rolls in here, sitting in the 6th place in points, but a chance to break things open. The first of 3 races for a triple header here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Great to be back at this fantastic racetrack. Lining things up. Pashevich and Kuto on the front row. Medeiros and Marak, all Canadian row number 2. This opening lap is going to be crucial. They're worked away here. We are at it. We are green, green, green. The race down into turn number 1. One driver trying way around the outside there. Skittish at best. The outside there coming back through. We're clean and green through turn number 1. They'll go 2 or 3 wide. A legendary part of this racetrack. Turn number 2, downhill, off camber. Turn 3, just as hectic. Drivers looking good so far. These are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series, and they get things underway here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Clean start through the opening couple of corners thus far. Great start as well for Pashevich. The Polish driver goes to P1. And again, hoping to get through these opening couple of corners cleanly. Once it separates here, we'll be able to go to work. The braking up the hill to turn number 5, 5A and 5B. So many of the drivers communicated to me after they got to the sections, they couldn't believe it. Of course, they've been on this racetrack in iRacing. They've learned the track itself. As the driver has gone around further back, that is the number 7 of Narola. Narola goes around, coming onto the straightaway. That is actually coming through turns 5A and B. But again, back to my point, they all talked about the fact that, hey, we drove this track on iRacing, but cannot believe the actual elevation changes when you actually get to the facility. Coming around and trying to complete lap number 1 here now. Good stuff here early on. One driver went around, as we saw there, coming in turn 5. That was Narola. Arian Narola. Shot there, the number 6 as well. That's Casper Nissen. That's the fight a little further back. That is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Top 5, first time by Pashevich in the 25. Kudo in the 88. Marak in the 23. Perez in the 10. Great start for Ivan Machado Perez. 10th to 4th on the opening circuit. The veteran driver, 23 years of age. Most drivers between 14 and 16, 17, 18. But this driver, Machado Perez, I'll go deeper into his story a little later. Look at this run coming down through 4. Narola will bring the car into pit lane. In fact, they're telling them to shut that machine down. There's the 97 right there of Cole Medeiros. In fact, the Canadians looking good now. Marak in 3rd, Medeiros in 5th, Saravalli in 6th, Kennedy 11th. So all 4 of the Canadians now in the top 11 here. One of them making his debut, and that's Edward Kennedy. Spoke with him in another segment that you'll see later on this weekend. How about 3 wide up the Andretti straightaway? Why not? These young drivers going at it. Who's going to back out when they get to turn number 8? Good stuff there. That's Hugendorn in the number 12. And his teammate Kennedy right behind him. So Hugendorn's moved up a spot. That could be 11th now for Hugendorn. Started 14th. He's up a couple of spots already. One of the things that we stress for these young drivers is this is all about driver development. Yeah, they want to get the success, they want to win races. One of the key components of our program is the scholarship that we offer to our champions. If you win the USF Juniors Championship, you'll get a scholarship to move to USF 2000 worth over $251,000. It's the only series in the world where you'll see that, the scholarship that allows drivers to continue to move up the ranks. Majority of the budget for the next year that comes through the scholarship. We also tell them, listen, you're here to learn to drive. Don't overdrive. You're here to learn. So we don't want them to make those bad mistakes early in the race when you're losing laps. Green flag racing is really, paramount to us. We want to see these drivers get as much green flag racing as possible. Pashevich looking to grab that first race win as he is out comfortably as your leader now. 3 straight second place finishes at Homestead back in February, the opening triple header of the year. Qualified in the, outside of the front row at Carolina Motorsports Park in April down in Kershaw, South Carolina, but got taken out in 2 of those races. So just doesn't have the results to show for it, but man, a very talented driver coming from the international level. Shifter kart racing, world championships. The driver's gone off, coming through turn number 10, rather turn 9. Who is at the drop the wheel? That might have been Perez. Picked up the number on that car. Yeah, I think that might have been the 10 of Ivan Machado Perez. Overcooking it coming through turn number 8. Not the first time we've seen a driver overcook the entry to turn 8 and go off in that part of the racetrack, but able to get back on in 9. Perez falls. He's actually still on the 4th spot. Big start for J.W. Main. John Main in the number 9. for Jay Howard, driver development, starting in the 20th position. He's up to 9th right now. Make that 10th across the line. Impressive. So I said it might have been the 10 of Machado Perez. I'm going to wait till they come back around again. Good fight there between Vilo Atala and the 92 of Cooley. Well, solid opening couple of laps here for the drivers in USF Juniors. Again, we'll do it all over again this afternoon for race number 2. Same thing goes for Sunday morning. 3 o'clock green flag this afternoon as they get to come back at it again. Good fight here between Vilo Atala and Brendan Cooley, 2 returning drivers. Cooley on the podium last year at Road America. Hasn't had quite that pace to start the season off. It's been some ups and downs. There's the beautiful blue car of Bex Cranston. Cranston makes a move past there. He's got a driver upside down. That's Perez. Perez is upside down over, I think that maybe in turn number 10. He went off. I thought it might have been him that went off, but contact there, and that is big for Perez. These cars built by Tatis, very strong. They have the halo on them. Those were brought out in 2023. The debut of this JR23 machine. We have a driver over. The crews will get to them momentarily. Red flag, of course, on the racetrack. Full course yellow. We may bring the cars back to the pit lane, but they may just full course yellow at this point. Tough one there for Ivan Machado Perez as he is over. I think that is in the exit, the end of the back straightaway. So waiting for the crew to get to him. Again, as I said, these cars very safe. Full course yellow coming out around the racetrack here. Pashewitz comes across the line as the leader. Victor Couto in second. Olivier Marac in third. Saravalli in fourth spot. Badeiros fifth. Cuthbert sixth. Cranston seventh. Nissen in eighth. Hugendor in ninth. And Vilo Atala and actually Connor Aspley now running in 10th and 11th. Brendan Cooley's fallen down the order as well. We haven't seen Perez come back. Kennedy, Cooley, Mitchell, Ozelka, or Vignola. So they're going to get this car righted to allow Perez to get out. You see members of the AMR IndyCar safety team. Their primary crew, of course, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend for pole qualifying, but we do have usually 2 to 3 members of the IndyCar safety team at all of our races, even when we're standalone races like this for USF Juniors. So not quite sure what happened there at the end of the straightaway. But as we know, it's a tough part of this racetrack, and if you don't give each other room, they talked about that in the driver's meeting, you need to respect this racetrack, you need to respect each other. Watch for Perez to get himself out of this race car now. And you see the halo on the car, which is just such a huge technological and safety advancement, as we all know. Formula One, then the aero screen in IndyCar. 2022, we moved the USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000s to a new halo car. Brand new midsection of that race car. And awesome to see Ivan Machado Perez get out of the race car here. Significant damage on the number 10 VRD racing machine, though. And that is going to be tough for him. I mentioned I was going to take the time to talk about what he had done. Long career through karting into Formula Car racing. Had an incident that put him on the sidelines for a couple of years. Didn't have the budget to keep going. Jumped into iRacing, simulator racing. Became one of the world's top simulator drivers. Ended up winning a shootout at the Skip Barber Racing School that earned him the 2025 Skip Barber Formula Car Racing Series. Got a chance to run the whole series in the actual Formula Car. He won that championship last year, which gave him a $100,000 scholarship to come USF Juniors Racing. So the opportunity to get back at it, even at 23 years of age, got a chance to get back behind the wheel. A victory in the opening round of the opening weekend at Homestead. Then he won 2 of the 3 races at Carolina Motorsports Park to come in here as the race leader. But instead, we have a mess here, the opening race. Tough one for Ivan Machado Perez. So we circulate under yellow here. Great opening to the race. The guys did a great job for the first couple of laps. 20-lap race within a 40-minute window for the drivers here in USF Juniors. So long time on the clock still, over 3.5. You can see that the AMR IndyCar safety team, they know these cars very well. That's one of the reasons we love to bring them here. A lot of local track crews don't work with our cars, obviously, first time we've been here, so they know exactly what to do to get the car up on the hook, get it bolted down, and get him back to the paddock so we don't lose those green flag laps. That's the key for the racers here in USF Juniors and the entire USF Pro Championship ladder. Folks, Continental Tire is proud to be a presenting sponsor of the USF Pro Championships, the presenting sponsor. Our cutting-edge technology and unbeatable grip will help you dominate the track. Continental Tire, where performance meets precision. Learn more at ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. If you're around the track and want to learn more as Ivan Machado Perez works his way back to the ambulance, we'll have a look at him in medical after that rollover. The USF Pro Championships now has merchandise available on the free USF Pro Championships app, available at the Apple Store for iPhones and Google Play for Android mobile phones and tablets. So the app is your one-stop shop for all things USF Pro Championships, including live timing, the live broadcasters, streaming driver bios, our mini documentary series Driven, The Next Step, and more. Check us out today. So if you do want to follow more in the USF Juniors program, download that USF Pro Championships app wherever you are. You can watch all the broadcasts. My USF Pro Insider podcast on there as well. I have interviews with a lot of drivers throughout the season. Great job by the crew to get the incident scene cleaned up. I think we've only lost a couple of laps right now. That car heading back to pit lane, the VRD racing crew with not a lot of time. Couple of hours, let's say 4 hours likely before they have to push it out and get it onto the mock grid down there in the lower paddock. And for those of you around the racetrack right now as well, you want to meet these young drivers who are going to be the future of IndyCar. We're having our autograph session at the Victory Podium at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So please come and join us. The drivers all have their autograph cards. So a great opportunity to meet these young racers. So bring the kids over. Race fans, come and join us there. You're always welcome down in our paddock as well to check out the cars. Italian-built Tatis chassis with that halo, which has obviously benefited already for Ivan Machado Perez. Continental tires all around. Inline 4-cylinder 2-liter power plant built by Elite Engines in Wisconsin. They build the engines for all three of our series. Spec package all designed to focus on the driver. Here up Pashevich, leaning into that for sure as your leader. Victor Kudo's going to have another shot at him here on a restart. Canadian Olivier Marac leading all three. Actually, Canadians run 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now. Marac, Serapali, and Medeiros. Max Cuthbert, the Englishman, in 6th. Bex Cranston from Connecticut, 7th. The Danish driver, Casper Nissen, 8th. Good start for the Dutchman. Dean Hugendorn now up into 9th. Started 14th, stays out of trouble. Some good laps so far. He goes into 9th. Edward Kennedy, his teammate, rounding out the top 10. Vilo Attila, 11th. Brendan Cooley, 12th. Connor Aspley, 13th. Alex Berg, 14th. Max McCarron from 21st. Over the first couple laps, gets by, let's say, 5 drivers. Then takes the advantage of the incident with Machado Perez. McCarron, second place in points, now up in to P15, and that's the battle right now between 1st and 2nd in the points. McCarron 2nd, Machado Perez, who's now officially classified 20th, is the point leader. This is going to shake things up. Vilo Attila, who comes in 3rd in points, currently sits in 11th. So for drivers like Pashevich, Kuto, and Marac, who sit 6th, 8th, and 7th, 6th, 8th, and 5th respectively, good opportunity here to make up some points in the opening round. Didn't get a chance to see a replay of what happened down there. I'm sure I'll have a look at some in-car camera when I get back to our paddock area. But I'm thinking, just the time that I've been here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park over the last 30 years, it simply comes down to that wheel-to-wheel contact, side-by-side, trying to, everybody going to the apex of turn number 8 to get into the 9-10 combination. And it doesn't take much to then get those wheels locked and somebody go upside down. Special place in my heart for this particular racetrack here is as a young journalist, budding journalist, I guess if you would call him, a cub reporter for Performance Racing News and then Inside Track Motorsports News. This is where I covered my very first race, an F1600 race in a Formula V race here at what was then Mosport back in 1993. So it's been about 33 years since I first came up to this track. Love it here. Let's see if we can have a nice clean run to the end. 6 laps down, still 14 to go. They'll put lap 7 in, so called 13 laps remaining. Green flag back out, and we are running again. The Polish driver, Karol Pasiewicz, leads them down into turn number 1. Single file restart. You see that bump as they transition into turn number 1. It's been tough for a number of the drivers here. Turn 2, off camber, blind, downhill, left-hander. Iconic here, this particular track. Good start for Pasiewicz. Kuto holds his position as well. Marak, Saravalli, and the same goes for Medeiros right there, P5. Saw a little move to the inside further back. I think that might have been Altala getting aggressive to the inside of turn number 3. Obviously a primary passing opportunity. Up through 5A and B now. Key to get out of turn 5B cleanly. That's the launch onto the long straightaway here at CTMP. Back at it after the incident for Ivan Machado Perez. If you're joining us late, an incident at the end of the back straightaway brought out the yellow as Machado Perez very likely rolled his VRD racing machine, coming to a stop just before the barriers. Expecting wheel-to-wheel contact. There you go. Look at this run here for Bex Cranston as he's battling it out with Casper Nissen. That is for P7. 97 of Cole Medeiros trying to find a way by his fellow Ontario driver, Leonardo Saravalli. These guys have raced karts together before here at the Mosport Karting Center. Both of those drivers, in addition to Olivier Marak and Edward Kennedy, have all represented their country, both in the U.S. and internationally. So 4 rather fantastic high-level Canadian kart racers making the move here into the ladder system for IndyCar for the USF Juniors program. All 3. Oh, big wide run there. That's not going to work. He's going to potentially find himself into the wall, and he does. There's contact there. Driver to the outside. That is Brendan Cooley. Cooley contact to the wall of turn number 3. Tried to go to the outside of 3. Did not stick. Got into the grass. And, of course, with the cooler temperatures and the moisture, straight off into the barrier. So damage. The rear wing is off of the number 92 for Cooley. And he's going to fall to the tail of the field. Tough one there. Just tough. When you go to the outside, drop the wheels. I think every one of these young drivers has been warned about that. You can't go to the outside there in 3. You just can't hold it. And when you get into the grass, that's it. We'll see another full course yellow come here for Cooley. Would normally let him race a little bit before we go full course yellow. Because we know it's over in turn 3. They can show the full course at start finish. And I see it there. Full course yellow being thrown here at start finish. We'll roll them up for another yellow flag as Brendan Cooley, the exclusive Autosport driver out of Illinois, gets off track coming through turn number 3. I can kind of see that one happening as it was evolving. As he was at the outside of the racetrack, thinking about maybe potentially running the rim. But it's just so tough out there. There's no grip out there. There's no rubber out there. And again, like I said before, only 56 degrees here trackside now. So it's going to be left side damage because he kind of was sideways when he hammered the wall like that. Visor is up, so that's good. Our drivers are instructed if the visor is up, you need help in terms of crew, but you're not injured. So would have been a hard hit for him for sure. So another stoppage in play here for the drivers in USF Juniors. Here comes Brendan unbuckling and climbing out of the race car. Good to see. Cooley coming in here sitting 11th place in the points on the season. A couple of top 10s, 6th in the opening round at Homestead, a 7th in round number 2 at Kershaw. An 8th as well at Homestead, so 2 top 10s at Homestead. He'll survey the damage. Crew's going to go to work here on this machine. As we know, when it comes to these open wheel formula cars, all the suspension designed with shear points, so crew will be peeling off all the damaged equipment, heading to the parts truck to buy the new components they need to get him back on the racetrack. You can see the left rear damage there. live timing coming across. I didn't have a quick look at it as I was kind of looking down and watching the shot here of Cooley, but we got Victor Couto across the line as the leader. I know that he may have made a pass as they were racing when I was kind of detailing the incident here for Cooley. Let's see when they come back around whether or not indeed we have a new leader. Victor Couto could be the driver up front right now. We have a look down as they work through turn number 11. Indeed, Couto has gone to the lead, an attack on the lap. Victor Couto goes to the lead for Zanello Racing. Good stuff for Couto, who is 8th place in points right now. A solid overall year thus far for Couto, but probably not what he was looking for. 3 top 10s, but nothing outside the top 12. A couple of 11th place finishes, a 12th in the opening round at Kershaw. He was right in the heat of the fight up front, but for him to potentially come away with a victory here would be big. Still lots of time, though. 20 minutes still on the clock in a 40-minute window. That's why we have longer windows as well, to get as much green flag running as we can. Still 10 laps to go in a 20-lapper. But there you see the damage. As I said, left side impact on the Innovel Global Logistics machine for Brendan Cooley. So suspension on both left and right. Wheel damage likely, so they'll go to work on that car. The wing, as we know, front and rear. A lot of damage to that car. So I guarantee a couple of the EA team members already back in the paddock, heading to the ARI, Anderson Racing Imports stock truck, because that's where ARI is the importer of all the Tatis equipment. For these young drivers, again, tough one, right? You got to come right back in race number 2 this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And if you've had an incident, you got to get rid of that. You got to put it behind you and get back into mental focus. 3 drivers out of this one so far. Brendan Cooley, Ivan Machado Perez, and Arian Narola. John Main had worked himself up into the top 10. Now he's back further. I think are we going to get a replay of this potentially? Yeah, watch him on the outside there, trying to go too wide coming through the corner. And like I said, just along for the ride at that point. When you get off the track there, you're carrying a lot of speed over into turn number 3. Man, I'd love to get another look at that now that kind of caught me off guard that we were able to see that replay. I'd love to see that again now that we've kind of picked it up a little bit here. The pace car remains on the track, so at least another run around here for the drivers. Put lap number 11 in the books here. We'll go lap 12. But indeed, kind of coming up into turn number 3 there. Cooley kind of maybe thinking about setting up for the outside. And you can just see once he got out there into the gray, car just kind of fed out. Here it is again. Have a look back here. We're going to key on him. He's going to the outside. It's outside the gray. Just can't get it turned. Doesn't whoa it up. And the minute you go offline, you're a passenger. Thankfully, able to kind of get the car rotated enough that it was side impact. Still a potential for damage to the right front as well. But yeah, tough one for Brendan Cooley. 2 more shots at it, though, as we know. Talked about the fact that the exclusive Autosport crew work to be done. Remington Tarr, his mechanic, heading right back to the paddock to get at it. Again, first stop is to get the parts you need, start laying them out, get ready to go, because once that car gets back, they'll get it on the rollers and start tearing it apart. You can be guaranteed. I'll say this for all the teams. It was the same thing yesterday, rather on Thursday, an incident for Casper Nissen in the opening practice session. He went P1 and then went off and had hard impact at the end, I believe at the end of the back straightaway. The entire Jay Howard driver development team jumping in on that, peeling all the damaged parts off. You're getting things ready with the new parts, getting them ready to go. You've got to, of course, do the inspection of the cars, anything cracked. Full inspection as you're starting to tear it down, the diagnosis of it. So definitely a team effort for so many squads here. Zanello Racing with 6 cars here this weekend. Jay Howard Driver Development has 4 cars here. D-Force with 2 cars. I mentioned the 4 cars at Exclusive Autosport as well. There are a couple of single car efforts for sure. That's Berg Racing and Olivia Racing, just 1 driver each there. Karol Pashevich for Olivia and Alex Berg for Berg Racing. Alex Berg started 18th. He's now up into the 13th spot. Pashevich started on pole. He runs second after a great run there for Kuto on that lap after the incident. Looks like we're still cleaning up the incident scene one more time around. Let's see. Hopefully we'll be able to go back to green here. Kuto, your leader in the 88. As I think they may have just got that car. No, they're still getting it up on the hook. Victor Kuto, P1. Karel Pashevich in second. Olivier Marac in the 23 in third. Four-spot Leonardo Saravalli, fifth Cole Medeiros, sixth Max Cuthbert, seventh Bex Cranston, eighth Casper Nissen, 19 Hugendorf, and 10th Edward Kennedy. I talked a lot, and I talked about this during qualifying yesterday as well. It's interesting that obviously brand new for USF Juniors coming up to this program here. In fact, the USF Pro Championship, it started back in 2010 with first USF 2000 and then evolving into the USF Pro 2000 category in 2022, adding USF Juniors. They've never actually been north of the border to this particular track. Yeah, a lot of racing on the street circuit in Toronto, but they've never been to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. You got to go back really to a top-level 2-liter program. You go back to 2004 when it was the Formula Ford Z-Tech Championship that was here. But I know a lot of the teams very new here, except for Exclusive Autosport, because if you've been coming around to this facility for a number of years, you've heard Exclusive Autosport, a big part of the Formula 1600 program here and throughout East Coast. To the Exclusive Autosport currently are located in Brownsburg, Indiana, but remember they used to be, the office was in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, here in Canada. The team did a lot of racing here. In fact, their first ever podium was here at Victoria Speed Fest in 2013. So go 13 years back, and this team, which has done so well, won the USF 2000 championship last year with Jack Jeffers. A couple of years ago, the USF Pro 2000 championship with Louis Foster, who will be racing for Ray Hall Letterman Landing this year once again at the Indianapolis 500. They scored their first podium here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park at Victoria Day Speed Fest. So we're going to try to get that done here again 13 years later. Back at it. Zanello Racing's Victor Kuto leads them as we get back at it again. Let's see if Pashevich can come right back at him. A couple of miscues from drivers have put us under full course yellow twice so far in the first 28 minutes of this race. Big wide run there coming through for Kuto. Not an ideal line through the corner as they come back over to turn number 3. Big sweeping corner, as we know. Back around. There's the issue there where we had Cooley go off. Back down through, left-hand turn at number 4. Very quick, downhill, left-hander, compression at the bottom, back up the hill, 5A and B. So Kuto holding him off thus far. Again, shout out to all of those of you watching on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, if you've downloaded the app and are watching there as well. Hello, hope you're enjoying a Saturday morning here. Pashevich goes back by. Karel Pashevich back to the lead for Olivia Racing. Both these drivers looking for those first race wins of their short USF Juniors career. There's Dean Hugendorf having a good run. Again, one of the top junior kart racers in the world in 2025. Not only did he win the European Championships in what is called the OK Junior category, also won in the WSK Supermaster Series, came overseas to run in the biggest event they have in North America each year, the Supercars USA Super Nationals in Las Vegas, and was able to come away with one of the junior victories there as well. A very talented young driver from the Netherlands. Thrilled to have him as part of our program here this year, his first year running in open wheel formula cars. Oh, that's Max Mokaram, second place in points in the pit lane. That is massive for the championship. First and second in the championship have had issues in the opening race. So Mokaram in the Zanello Racing 46 in the pit lane. How many storylines are we going to have in this opening race here of a triple header? Wow. The point leader, contact, he flips at the end of the back straightaway, bringing up the first full course yellow. And now we have the driver with 2 wins on the season. Second place in points with a broken front wing. We got insight coming from one of our spotters on pit lane. In fact, Elite Engines Logan Knapp, who is on pit lane to help all the teams out. If there's any issues with the engines, he's there on the pit lane throughout every race. Oftentimes sends me up some information as well. So broken front wing for Max McCarron. This opens the door for everybody further back. I guarantee you that right now. Vilo Antala, third place in points coming in. Vilo currently running 11th, so even third place not inside the top 10. Everybody in the top 10 now is going to gain points back. And that's why I always say the race is never over. After the first weekend, some people think, hey, this guy's already got the championship locked. He's got a couple of wins. It's never over. There's just too many racetracks. There's too many opening laps, too many first corners that could catch a driver out. So it's a long season. We've wrapped things up this year at the end of September at Road America. Looking forward to that weekend. But again, all three championships will be decided there as we hand out over $1.5 million in prize money and awards at our season-end banquet. These drivers, as I said before, racing for over $250,000. That's the scholarship to move to USF 2000 next year. Leonardo Scorpioni won that championship last year. Actually started the season off at USF 2000, but got an opportunity to move up to USF Pro 2000, elected to do that. He's running in the pro category. Had a race win in the opening round, but a horrible wreck at Indianapolis. Tore that car up pretty good. There's Bex Cranston in the exclusive Autosport machine. Cranston in the number 90. IES Miller Motor Cars King and Spalding entry. 97 of Medeiros. Lead running now in the fourth position. Medeiros was holding off Saravalli and has gapped himself a little bit of cushion now. Pashevich leads the way. The two Zanella cars running in second and third. Kuto and Marak. If you are watching on the YouTube channel or on the app, just to fill you in, we don't have access to the Victory Lane camera for today. We will have that for tomorrow, but not able to get the camera into that remote location for us. So indeed, if you want to watch the podium celebrations afterwards, head to the USF Pro Championship Instagram page. I think we're going to be doing a live stream there, live stream on social. So no good opportunity still to tune in, but it'll be on the live stream on social. We'll have the camera set up for tomorrow morning's race. As I said before, autograph session today at that victory podium at 1 o'clock. We'll have all 21 of our drivers there signing their autograph cards. This is a massive battle right now. This is Medeiros, Saravalli, and the 8 of Max Cuthbert. I talked about the fact that Medeiros had a bit of a cushion. That is gone. Oh, the Cuthbert's going to look to the inside. Oh, thinks better of it. Saravalli actually gave him a bit of room. Good, respectful racing. Cuthbert may have a better run down into one. Bex Cranston looking to clean it up as well. He's at the bottom. Oh, coming across the bow from left to right. Saravalli holds him off. Cuthbert's checked up. Cranston now on him. Great racing among these 3 or 4 drivers here. Who's coming in? That's Dean Hugendorn. Putting on a show from 14th. Hugendorn now up to 8th. Quick look at some of the lap times here as well. We're turning high 21s and 22s. In our qualifying approach, your fastest lap in qualifying sets the grid for race number 1. Your second fastest lap in qualifying provisionally sets the grid for 2 and 3. But if you go faster in race 2 than your qualifying time, your second fastest qualifying time, you can use that time. But we're just not really seeing anybody, I think, put the times down they need. Max McCarron, however, who did not only get a couple of laps, I think will be able to benefit from at least a couple laps on the racetrack. He is, I think, back out on track with a new wing, but a couple laps down. 17 laps in, just 3 more to go. It's Pashevich, Kuto, Marak, Medeiros, Saravalli, and Cuthbert. Cranston right there, Hugendorn as well. Nissen and Kennedy round out the top 10. Hugendorn there in the 12. There's your essentially 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Nose to tail down through turn number 1. 2 laps to go for Karel Pashevich as he's trying to come away with his first race win. 3 second-place finishes, 3 runner-ups on the triple header at Homestead. Man, he wanted that win, but drove clean each time. In since in 2 of the 3 races at Kershaw put him down the order. But this would be massive for him, especially with the point leader finishing well down the order. Add 30 points for Pashevich would put him nicely up to a 119, very likely close to, at least into the top 5, I would believe. But again, the speed in one race, we were here for a triple. Big opportunity to come away with a lot of points. Medeiros with a bit of a gap now again. Here comes Hugendorn, though. He's going to peek out on Bex Cranston. Hugendorn and the VRD racing machine going to turn around the outside. He is on the outside of the corner. You're going to watch it coming through turn 8. Not quite enough. He's going to try to hold it for turn number 9. Wise move for Hugendorn as he's just getting a feel for these race cars. Got a bunch of testing in before coming to the opening race. White flag flying this time by 1 to go. Medeiros, Saravalli, Nissen, Cranston, Hugendorn. Pashevich now leading by 0.8. The driver's gone off. The 28 of Grant Mitchell has buried it in the tires. I don't know if that's the end of the back straightaway, but we have a driver hard off at the end. That'll be a yellow coming out here. They'll race as much as they can until the full course yellow comes out. The driver has gone off. Grant Mitchell, the 28, has put in the tires. Pashevich's going to come through 5A and B. I think we're still racing. There's your full course there. So that's going to lock things down. This was the final lap on the racetrack. Karol Pashevich is going to come away with a race win. His first, and the first for Olivia Racing here as well. Formerly known as Inter MS, now officially rebadged in the offseason as Olivia Racing. They score their first win. Tough one for Grant Mitchell. Mitchell was running further back, I believe 17th. Actually, no, 17th potentially. So Victor Couto's going to finish second, Olivier Marac in third, so 2. Yeah, there you go, into the back straightaway there. And Mitchell's put it deep into the tires there. Just missed something. Pashevich, Couto, and Marac, your drivers on the podium. Zanella Racing gets second and third. Across the line comes Pashevich. Cole Medeiros going to finish in fourth. Leonardo Saravalli in fifth. Max Cuthbert in sixth spot. Max Cranston in seventh. Dean Hugendorn in eighth. Edward Kennedy in ninth. See if we'll have a look at this here. Yeah, that's a hard impact there for Mitchell for sure, but that was again coming into the final corner, the end of the back straightaway into turn number 8. It's like he lost that car coming in and it rotated around, bringing the hook out to pull him out of the tires now. Casper Nissen actually finished in the 9th spot, folks. The live timing is updated here. So Casper Nissen finishes in 9th, Edward Kennedy in 10th. Connor Aspley comes home in 11th. Alex Berg in 12th. 13th goes to Jared Ozelka. 14th, Elias Vignola. 15th, John Main. Vilo Autola all the way down in 16th position. Autola was third in points. So first, second, and third in points. Finished 20th, 18th, and 16th respectively. Blowing the championship wide open here. But indeed, Pashevich with the victory. Fantastic drive. There they are. They are the top 3 drivers. Excellent run for Karol Pashevich, the Polish driver. Fantastic day for Olivia Racing as well. We do it again with the green flag at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Look for a 2:45 start there. Again, as I said, folks, we're not going to be able to go live here to Victory Lane, but join us at the USF Pro Championships Instagram feed. I would expect we'll use that, maybe even Facebook as well. But we're going to go live from Victory Lane that way, so that we'll be able to get a chance for those of you at home who want to see the celebrations, watch that continue. But again, there you have it, folks. Wrapping things up here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Karol Pashevich coming away with his first race win. Victor Couto second. Olivier Marac, the Canadian driver, on the podium, P3. And again, we do it all again this afternoon. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.